April 1945. Jewish prisoners freed by the U.S. Army. Faces showing immense relief. Being transferred to Theresienstadt when liberation came. 1919. The Harlem Hellfighters awarded the Croix de Guerre in France. The all-black unit fought longer than any other in World War I. Celebrated then, often overlooked now. Paris, February 4, 1912. Austrian inventor Franz Reichelt plummets from the Eiffel Tower, testing his low-altitude parachute. It failed. 1947. Arctic explorer Peter Freuchen beside his third wife, wearing a polar bear coat made from a bear he killed himself. Joseph Goebbels glaring at the camera. Nazi minister of propaganda. He just learned photographer Alfred Eisenstadt was Jewish. Late 1800s, stagecoach Mary, 6 feet tall, born into slavery. She became the first black postwoman in the United States. Circa 1894, Mark Twain in Nikola Tesla's lab. The writer and inventor were friends. Tesla read Mark Twain's books. Twain was fascinated with technology. Memphis, Tennessee. Theatrice Bailey scrapes blood from the Lorraine Motel balcony following Martin Luther King Jr.'s assassination. 1856. John Grizzly Adams with a bear. He captured, trained, and wrestled grizzly bears. One struck him in the head, dislodging his scalp. He kept wrestling. Bonnie and Clyde goofing around with a rifle. The outlaws left a camera at a crime scene. Photos like this fed the newspapers. World War II, Soviet snipers beaming for the camera. The Soviet Union trained about 2,000 women as snipers. One, Ludmila Pavlichenko, killed 300 people single-handedly. Circa 1911, inventor Chester E. McDuffie beside one of the first atmospheric diving suits. It weighed 550 pounds. January 1, 1943, the last photo ever taken of Nikola Tesla. Despite impressive inventions during his life, he died penniless and alone. 1953, a very bored Prince Charles standing between his grandmother and mother at Queen Elizabeth II's coronation. 1990, gay rights activist David Kirby dying of AIDS. His family cast him out when he revealed his homosexuality. They returned to his side at the end. World War II, a Polish unit adopted a bear named Wojtek. He drank beer, smoked cigarettes, even had his own rank and serial number. Kentucky, 1930s. Harlan David Sanders serving fried chicken at his gas station, the real Colonel Sanders before the empire. Ford's Theater, April 1865. Is this a death photo of President Abraham Lincoln? Some historians believe it was taken the night of his assassination. Others are skeptical. Nagasaki, August 6, 1945. The United States dropped a nuclear bomb, killing at least 70,000 people in the blink of an eye. Devastation around Urakami Cathedral. Northern Ireland, August 14, 1989. A young Irish teenager screams at 2 fully armed British troops. The rage of the Troubles. Paris, August 31, 1997. This crumbled car smashed against a tunnel wall. It carried Princess Diana to her death, pursued by paparazzi. France, June 17, 1939. The last public by guillotine. Serial killer Eugene Weidman put to death. The French used the guillotine until 1977. New Orleans, November 14, 1960. 6-year-old Ruby Bridges goes to her first day of school. The first African-American child to desegregate William Frantz Elementary, met by a screaming mob. California, 1892. A small crowd poses in front of Sequoia tree, Mark Twain. The U.S. Army cut down the 1,300-year-old, 331-foot-tall tree the previous year. 1863. A slave named Gordon escaped his Mississippi plantation, found refuge among the Union Army. Photos of shocking scars on his back became a rallying cry against slavery. Times Square, New York City. Jubilant crowds pack the streets following the end of World War II. 1966. Martin Luther King Jr. making a trick shot. The civil rights leader was also a talented pool player. Easter Island. The enormous heads have long fascinated historians, but there's more than meets the eye. Since 1914, archaeologists have investigated the torsos of these statues. March 10, 1945. 2 artillery soldiers prepare Easter eggs, final weeks of World War II. The ammunition reads, "Easter eggs for Hitler" and "Happy Easter, Adolf." Australia. A 28-foot crocodile allegedly shot. Some claim the size is due to forced perspective of the camera. Northern Iran, 1972. Skeletons discovered wrapped in an eternal embrace. Their relationship remains a mystery. Archaeologists suspect they died during a violent invasion in 800 BC. Circa 1924. The interior of an airplane, complete with lightweight wicker seats and curtains on the windows. 1899. Renowned sharpshooter Annie Oakley takes aim in a hand mirror. She could easily land a bullseye on targets behind her back. New York City, 1926. Unharnessed workers scale the heights of the Woolworth Building. Boston, April 5, 1976. Black lawyer Ted Landsmark wanders through an anti-busing protest. The mob pounced. One man tries to impale him with an American flag. The Pulitzer-winning photo, The Soiling of Old Glory. September 1945. Emaciated Australians drink tea after release from a Japanese camp. The Pacific Theater was just as devastating. Nome, Alaska, 1925. Musher Leonard Seppala with his sled team, led by Togo. Dog teams brought life-saving antidoxin to fight diphtheria. Togo ran farther than any other sled dog during the Serum Run. 1961. A 19-year-old East German border guard named Konrad Schumann suddenly bolts. He leaps into the West. The leap into freedom. Schumann struggled with fame. He died by suicide in 1998.
1963. A young Bill Clinton shakes the hand of President John F. Kennedy. Circa 1920. Belgian coal miners crammed into elevators following their shift. September 1849. The last known photograph of Edgar Allan Poe, taken mere weeks before he died under mysterious circumstances. November 9, 1989. A young boy takes a hammer and chisel to the Berlin Wall. The wall had divided East and West Germany for 28 years. Des Moines, Iowa, 1918. 18,000 soldiers formed a human Statue of Liberty to sell war bonds during World War I. New York City, December 7th, 1941. A soldier setting off from the 34th Street bus terminal. His leave terminated following Pearl Harbor. A fellow soldier holds his girlfriend so they can have one last kiss. Manhattan, September 1918. Two girls deliver ice. Women working jobs like these for the first time. World War I caused a shortage of men. Japanese samurai women called onna bugeisha. They fought with a lightweight sword called a naginata, some of the fiercest warriors in the world. Turn of the century, New York. Lion tamer Jack Bonavita poses with his lions. The esteemed circus performer was eventually killed by one of his animals in 1917. Not a lion, a polar bear. 1899. The first picture ever taken underwater. Jacob C. Miller, shot in the face during the Civil War. He survived, but bore an open wound for the rest of his life. 1938. A 23-year-old Frank Sinatra snaps a bathroom selfie, decades before they became ubiquitous. The Franklin Expedition member, the doomed 1845 mission to find the Northwest Passage. Instead, its crew got trapped in the Arctic and perished. Gainesville, Georgia, 1992. At a Ku Klux Klan rally, a toddler in KKK robes broke away from the crowd. Enchanted by the police shields, he went to touch one, seemingly didn't notice the black state trooper holding it. Bloody Sunday, March 7, 1965. Civil rights activist John Lewis holds his head during an attack. He and others had just crossed the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma, Alabama. State troopers attacked their peaceful protest. 1948. Retired Professor George McLaurin became the first black student admitted to the University of Oklahoma. The school was segregated. McLaurin was kept strictly away from his white classmates. West Virginia, 1960. Before his presidency, John F. Kennedy was just an underdog candidate, campaigning and hoping to win. San Francisco, California, circa 1935. A worker gazes over the first cables of the Golden Gate Bridge. 1967. The Kiss of Life photo. Although it looks elegant and romantic, it actually depicts a life-saving rescue. Harlem, New York, 1970s. A well-dressed group walks down the streets. Canyon City, Colorado, 1926. Ku Klux Klan members engage in light-hearted fun at a local carnival, a startling juxtaposition. 1937. As the Hindenburg descended in a ball of flames, a radio announcer cried, "Oh, the humanity!" This disaster ended the era of Zeppelin travel for good. Lady Di, a remarkably well-preserved mummy from China. More than 2,000 years old, she still has blood in her veins. 1943. Yugoslavian teenager Lepa Radic condemned to hang for sabotage efforts against the Nazis. Offered a pardon if she revealed names, she refused. I am not a traitor of my people. India, 1968. The Beatles' John Lennon searches for a guitar pick he lost inside his instrument. 1964. Malcolm X peers out his window holding a gun, under threat from both the FBI and the Nation of Islam. The Lion Man, real name Stefan Biberowski, a popular sideshow attraction in the early 20th century. Egypt, 1961. Jazz great Louis Armstrong plays the trumpet. His wife and the Sphinx watch and listen. Charlotte, North Carolina, 1957. Dorothy Counts, the first black girl to attend an all-white school in the United States, being teased and taunted by her white male peers at Harry Harding High School. Holland, 1888. The grave of a Catholic woman and her Protestant husband. 1936. A lone man refusing to do the Nazi salute. Boston Marathon, 1967. Race organizers attempt to stop Catherine Switzer from competing. She became the first woman to finish the race. 1930s. Job hunting. Desperation in the Depression. 1947. A mother shows a picture of her son to a returning prisoner of war.